بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As a Saturday after Isha, we have a very short Tafsir dars. Inshallah, today we're going to be covering Surah Nas today. Last week we covered Surah Al-Falaq. And we were told that the Prophet ﷺ used to call these both surahs Mu'awwazatain, Qul A'udhu Birabbil Falaq and Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas. Both of them were revealed together in Medina Sharif. And the reason they were revealed was because the Jewish people of Medina had tried to poison the Prophet ﷺ and perform magic on him. So the Qul A'udhu Birabbin Nas, the title of the surah is An-Nas. Nas means people. And it's called people because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala introduces himself as Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas. He says to the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Qul, O my beloved Prophet, say, a'udhu bi rabbin nas, I seek refuge, मैं पनाह लेता हूँ, bi rabbin nas, the Lord of the mankind or the Lord of people, malikin nas, the King of mankind, ilahin nas, the God of mankind. And when people want to introduce themselves, they always introduce themselves by associating with someone great. People ask me, who am I? I say, I am Maulana Rabbani Saab's son. People say, which mosque you go? We are Namazis of Zia-Ul-Quran. So it gives us honor that we ascribe ourselves to that. And Allah in this surah, when He says what type of God He is, whose God He is, He says, Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. He is the Lord of the people, the Lord of insan. So this is a form of izzat for people that Allah introduces Himself. He is the Lord of people. Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. Seek refuge in the Lord of mankind. So the first one is Rabb, then is Malik, then is Ilah. And the scholars say there's a reason why Allah mentions three of His sifat. The first sifat is Rabb, and the Rabb is someone who gives you something to eat and drink. So our parents are our Rabb because they often give us food and eat to drink. But here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that the real person who gives us eating and drinking is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you need to seek refuge. When you have a problem, you need to turn back to the one who gives you food and drink. Second one, Malikin Nas, the king of people. Some people like authority and honor. They'll only listen to someone if he's a king or he's an MP or he's got position in the mosque. So the second verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, take refuge in the King of mankind, in the King of people, right? He is a majestic and king. And the third one, Ilahin Nas, take refuge in the Lord of mankind. And there are some people who love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not because He's only their Rabb, He gives them food and drink, not only because He gives them peace and security, but because they are Lord. So this is the order of that was given to the Prophet ﷺ. Seek refuge, bi rabbin nas, malikin nas, ilahin nas. Min sharril waswasil khannas. Who are we seeking refuge from? Min sharril waswas. Shar means bad, burai as we say. Waswas and khannas are two sifats of the shaitan. Waswas is someone who whispers, and khannas is someone who moves behind the scenes. They say when a robber, for instance, when he's trying to rob a house, and when the lights are off, he will slowly look at the things he wants to rob. But when the lights are on, he will move back and he will hide somewhere. That's how the shaitan is. The ulama say he's waswas, he whispers in the heart of mankind when they are not doing zikr, when they are not praying, when they are lost, he will come and give a short waswasa. You're probably there counting money, and the shaitan will like, just put 10 pounds in your pocket. And then he'll slowly keep on giving you the waswasa. But once when you do istighfar and you read namaz, khannas, he will hide back. That's what the sifat is. One is waswas, he keeps on telling you, But when you start doing dhikr and read namaz, khannas, he will move behind, he'll slip away. And when he sees you finish from namaz again, he'll become a waswas again, and he'll begin to whisper. So these were the ways that the Quran described the shaitan. He's constantly whispering, and when you're doing good, he will move back until he gives you a chance again. Min sharril waswasil khannas alladhi yuwaswisu fi sudurin nas min al jinnati wan nas. Alladhi yuwaswisu, who does waswase fi sudurin nas, in the hearts of people, min al jinnati wan nas, from people and from mankind. And it's the waswase, they are from people, min al jinnati, from jinn, and they're from people as well. Sometimes you will see the shaitan will do waswasa to one person, and when one person says, Waki, I should do this thing, he will tell other people. And this shaitan's only did waswasa to one person to do bad, but he's convinced everyone in his group that, yaar, you need to do this or you need to do that. That's why the Quran says, minal jinnati, because shaitan is from the sifat of jinn, but one nas, also the people who were giving waswasa to us. So that's why we were told to do ta'awuz. And shaitan is very interesting, and we'll probably talk inshallah later when we do that. But he is from the jinn, he was not from the angels. And one of the sahih narrations which has come to us is that the angels took him up when he was very young. There was fighting amongst the jinn. And when they took him up, he slowly started doing ibadat for 1,000 years in the 7th heaven, then the 6th, then the 5th, and slowly he was taken right up to the angels until he became the teacher of the angels. And then we're told why he actually slipped. But there's one qasam that he took by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَأُغْوِيَنَّكَ, that by God I am going to misguide these people. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, give me muhlat until the day of judgment, give me time until the day of judgment. I am going to misguide them. And Allah gives him permission. He goes, you can do whatever you want. So that's why every night, and this is recorded in Bukhari Sharif and Muslim Sharif, the Prophet ﷺ used to, before sleeping, he used to read Qul huwallahu ahad, Qul a'udhu birabbil falaq, Qul a'udhu birabbin nas, blow on his hands and then rub it on his head and on the rest of the body. And he used to do ta'weez, and he used to seek refuge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is the best way to combat the shaitan. Whenever you think the shaitan is trying to whisper you, the ulama say often it's like when you're going to the house of a guest and the guest has a dog outside and the dog's barking. Alright? No matter if you throw a stone at the dog or whatever you do, the dog is going to keep barking at you and trying to attack you. Only way he's going to be calm is when you go to the owner or the boss of the dog. He's going to calm the dog down. Similarly, the scholars say when the shaitan does waswasa, do not try to tackle it head on. It'll be difficult for you. But if you go to the boss of shaitan or the creator of shaitan, which is Allah, and you take panah of him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just the way the owner calms the dog, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove the shaitan from you. That's why we'll call it ta'awuz. 2 surah, Falaq and Nas, they're called mu'awwazatain, 2 surah in which we do panah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives all us tawfiq and protect us from the evils of shaitan and from the waswasa of the shaitan and people. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين.